welcome to Story Time with Armona Case. I'm going to do this in English because I want Louie to be able to understand it too. Today, I had the hardest experience I've ever had in my entire mission. And you might be thinking, how is that possible? Missionaries have to do hard things all the time. Carmen complains about doing hard things every single time she talks to us. How is it possible that she did something even harder than all those other things? Let me tell you something. Actually, backstory. Every single time I've trained, every single time I've talked to new missionaries, I've always kind of laughed at them. I mean, that sounds really mean, and I'm not actually laughing at them, but in my head I am a little bit because, I don't know, I always just kind of think, it's not that hard, they'll get over it, they'll move on. But today I am repented because of what happened. So, the elders a while ago in district council told us about this crazy friend that they met. They met this crazy guy on Facebook and they called him and he didn't say anything. He just was kind of the whole time as they were teaching him. And so they were kind of what's up? He's kind of weird dude. Every time he messaged with them, they didn't really understand what he was trying to say. And so Elder Hyatt has been learning sign language from me because I'm the best person in the world. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, Elder Hyatt has been learning sign language, and so he decided, I'm going to try and sign at this guy, Maybe he's deaf. So he knew how to say, how are you? So he goes in the call and he goes, how are you? And then this guy just starts signing like crazy at him, and Elder Hyatt's okay, whoa, sorry buddy, I don't understand the thing that you're saying. But there is someone who can. So they call us on Sunday. They're like, do you have time right now? We had time right then, which is usually a time that we don't have time. So I'm thinking in Spanish, that didn't make a lot of sense. But it was a miracle. So they called us, they invited us to this call, we started talking with this guy, and he lives in Nicaragua, and he speaks Nicaraguan Sign Language, which I don't know sign language from Nicaragua. I know American Sign Language. But somehow we were still able to, understand each other a little bit. I knew that he was saying Jesus a lot, I was saying Jesus a lot, there were some signs we had in common, we were talking about spiritual stuff, and we could feel the spirit a little bit, so it was good. So we set up another lesson for tonight, and so this was an actual lesson I had time to prepare for, and I knew that I was actually going to be teaching. And oh my goodness, that was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life, because I had to teach in Spanish and sign language at the same time. First of all, speaking two languages at once, not easy. Second of all, it was literally I forgot every single thing I already knew about the gospel. I can be in a lesson and the person can say the randomest thing about his shoelace being broken or some weird experience he had at work or Kool-Aid, and I can relate it to the gospel and we can have this super powerful lesson and discussion and whatever. But in the lesson with this guy, it was literally I didn't even know the gospel at all. I knew Jesus, Jesus is good. I said that a lot. Commandments, when we follow them, we're happy. Pretty sure I said that 12 times. I literally felt like I was a baby who didn't know how to talk. I didn't know how to say anything. Even though I knew the words, they didn't work, they didn't come out, and I understood what he was saying, but I didn't understand what he was saying the whole time, which, not always my fault. It's not just because he was signing, it was because he was signing in a different sign language that I don't know. So, I can give myself a little bit of credit for that. But honestly, that was literally the craziest thing in my entire mission. But we're going to keep teaching him, so I'm going to get a lot more practice. But I've never had to really rely on the Lord to be able to understand in a lesson like that before, and that was absolutely crazy, just being able to trust that whatever I said, however wrong I said it, he would be able to understand, and whatever he said, I would hopefully be able to understand, or at least partway be able to connect it to the gospel. But now I feel really bad for thinking about these poor little missionaries that it's just easy. They can speak fine not in a lesson. It's what's so hard about having a lesson? It's so hard. It's so hard to talk about the gospel that way. Oh my goodness. Literally, if I were a brand new missionary, I would probably be sobbing in a ball on the floor right now because that was just crazy. I literally felt like I didn't know the gospel. We're sitting in a lesson and I said something and he responded, and I was just kind of okay, I don't really know what to say now, but I'm not with a trainer. My trainer can't just be oh, poor little baby, and take over the lesson, so I just had to keep talking, and oh my goodness. I'm sure I'll get better, but right now, That was hard, you guys. That was really hard. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.